it's Mike from Everyday Ups and Downs. Welcome to another instalment of a video blog with my time with the MiniMed 640G. Today I thought we would look at SmartGuard and how that works. If you've seen episode 2, which I posted a week or so ago, then you'll have seen some of the results I've been getting from SmartGuard. But today I just wanted to focus on actually what SmartGuard is and how it works. There's quite a few numbers involved and quite a few levels that are set, and it was quite hard to get your head around to start with. So I thought it would be useful to do that in the form of an animation. So let's have a look. Managing type 1 diabetes is all about trying to keep your blood glucose levels within reasonable limits. Generally, the guidelines suggest between 4 and 9 millimoles a litre, what you might think of as the sweet spot. In a perfect world, your blood glucose would just noodle along between those two limits and all would be well. But back in the real world, of course, you soon discover when you're playing at being your own pancreas that your blood glucose levels can quite easily bounce from 20 point annoying to 1 point terrifying without any difficulty. And you begin to see that actually the sweet zone is down there at the bottom, perilously close to hypocentral. And of course you can't stray too high, because up there, that's where the danger of all those diabetes nasties are lurking that we try not to think about. So you can feel a little bit trapped trying to keep your levels in range, but without dipping below 4. Now SmartGuard is Medtronic's latest bit of cleverness to try and help us out. What it attempts to do is to minimise hypoglycaemia and to prevent the rebound highs when you overtreat. And in order to work, SmartGuard needs continuous data, so it can only operate when you're wearing an Enlite sensor with the Guardian 2 transmitter. Now, on to setup. The first thing you do is you define a low limit. This can be anywhere between 5.0 and 2.8 millimoles per litre, set in 0.2 increments. The higher you set it, the more protected you are against hypoglycaemia, and the lower you set it, the fewer SmartGuard interventions you're likely to have. The low limit that you're setting is a level that you want SmartGuard to try and keep you above all the time. Now, I've been trying to lose a lot of those annoying dips under 4.0 for years, so I set mine as 4. And for the purposes of SmartGuard, anything below that is counted hypo. SmartGuard then imagines 2 guidelines above your low limit. Anything more than 3.9 above it, it will ignore. But for me, as soon as I'm below 8-ish, SmartGuard is watching what's going on. And then there's a 1.1 limit, and that's a sort of cushion. That's what SmartGuard is using in order to act in time to help you out. So if we have an imaginary blood glucose trace noodling along roughly mid-range, SmartGuard watches and looks at all those rises and falls. Not only what's happening now, but it's also looking half an hour ahead based on the current trend. And when sensor glucose readings are falling, if within 30 minutes levels are expected to be below that 1.1 line, SmartGuard activates. And it'll cut off your basal, and also if you've got any running, it'll cut off any dual or square wave boluses in progress. But mostly we're talking about basal here, and it's important that the intervention happens early because it can take a good hour before the stop in basal begins to affect your glucose levels. SmartGuard works for a minimum of 30 minutes and for a maximum of 2 hours, and all that time it's watching sensor glucose. Once levels are above the 1.1 line, and if the trend suggests that they will be 2.2 above your low limit within half an hour, SmartGuard will turn itself off and your basal delivery will resume. And in an ideal world, your glucose levels will just even out and potter along roughly mid-range. One of the nice things about SmartGuard is how customizable it is, both in terms of the alerts that it gives you and also in terms of the levels. Let's just go into sensor settings and I'll show you what I mean. So here are the low settings, that's where SmartGuard is set up. And if we go into setup, you can see that actually I've set up 3 different profiles for SmartGuard during the day. You can set up to 8, in fact. You can divide the day into 8 chunks. And each of those can have different alerts and even different levels for your low limit if you want to do that. So I've got one that runs overnight, one that runs around breakfast time, and one that runs for the rest of the day. So the big one, the one that runs for the rest of for the main bit of the day. Let's have a look at that. So this is where you set your low limit, and that could go up and down as you wanted to adjust it if you found you were getting readings that you weren't keen on. And then underneath that arrow there, that's where you get to tailor the alarms. Suspend before low, that is the SmartGuard function, and that's currently on. But I've not got an alert there before low. So SmartGuard will turn on, but it won't buzz and alert me to let me know. And also further down here, we've got the resume basal alert. That's also turned off, which means mostly that SmartGuard is just doing its thing, and I'm getting on with my day, and then I only find out about it when it's already dodged a hypo for me. Suspend on low there, that's more similar to the low glucose suspend on the Veo. So if you wanted to and didn't like SmartGuard, you could actually run it very like a Veo, and it would only suspend when you hit your low limit. And as I say, you can alter this on a time block basis, so you can have different behaviours or different alerts active throughout the 24 hours to really customise it and suit you. So there you go, that was SmartGuard and how it works. In another blog I'll look at when it works brilliantly and when it works not quite so well, but that's all for now. Thanks for watching.